will this one ring to rule them all in chargers go global, and what will be the implications then?
Yeah, sure. To the second question, it most likely would go global. It would make sense that they get the scale out of that. But the question as well, too, which is the first part of your question is, what is the other factor here? How much could they make off of not just the, made for iPhone licensing and but also the accessories, the chargers and the cables, which are very high margin, by the way. So if you take a look at Apple's total breakdown by business, they don't break out the accessories specifically. It's grouped into wearables and home products, but it's about 10% of their total revenue. So it's going to be less than 10%, considering things like Apple Watch are also sitting in that category, right? So from a revenue perspective, direct revenue perspective, it's less than 10% of that. But like I said, most likely it would make sense that they get the scale out of moving to this common charger globally, rather than having to make individual parts, unless they think that they're really making so much off of those chargers and accessories and that sort of thing, where it's not it's still worth it for them to maintain that separate.
Doesn't this mean then, Brian, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Apple's competitors like Samsung, for instance, don't have to do anything under this new standardization? And does that imply that Apple may perhaps challenge this and push back?
Yeah, so you're right on the first part that the other vendors, most of the industry is already on USB-C anyway, right? So for most of the other guys, it doesn't really impact them. And that's kind of what motivated this rule as well, too, right? So that everybody already has these chargers. Why do we have to get a separate one? And so it is possible for Apple to push back, but it's already gone through several bodies, lawmaking bodies in Europe as it is anyway. And so I don't know the political and legal process there on how much of a window Apple still has to push back on this. But I think at this point, it's already moved far enough. I'm assuming that we are going to reach that point where basically 2 years from now, whether it's the iPhone 16 or whatever they decide to call it at that time, and whether or not the timing of that launch makes it by that window at the end of, let's say, 2024, that new product most likely will be on a USB-C charger. And by the way, the supply chain, readings from the supply chain suggest, or at least rumors, I should say, suggest that Apple's already been experimenting with USB-C on these phones. So it sounds like in their own house, they're already getting ready and making preparations for the eventuality within a couple of years.